So just setting my machine up here. So intervals, variable, right, interval 1, time, the first interval is 15 minutes. Can't think here, 15 minutes. And the rest time is 5 minutes. And interval 2 time is 20 minutes. Sounds a long time, doesn't it? But we'll be with each other, so well done. And the rest time 5, just to make sure that we actually do our warm up. So how we do, 1.5 minutes. Just wait if anybody else is coming. But while we do, welcome to those new people. If there's any new people, we are using these sessions to virtually imagine ourselves on a bit of water, which is, for me anyway, a lot easier to do my longer distance pieces than just focusing on splits and rates. And today we are celebrating the River Dee at Chester. And it was, for me, it was inspired by the Dee Autumn Head, where somebody had done a coxing video, and we'll send that out on the link for those of you that hadn't seen it. And realizing that you know, we really notice things on rivers when we go to our different rivers for racing. And on this part of the river, and there's a number of clubs which my fellow presenter Di Binley will explain as we're paddling along. So just 30 seconds to go before we start paddling and picking up the handle. And what we're going to do on this 15-minute warm-up, just full slide, and then just to get the body going, and then work down the slide, and then as we work up the slide, a few bursts just to get ourselves warmed up, and then imagine ourselves marshalling. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So we're just going to imagine ourselves having boated from the landing stage. And I'll let Di explain a little bit more about what the environment's like there.
Well, for a start, it's a really beautiful bit of river. You're boating from either Grosvenor or Royal Chester or Kingschool. They're all on the one side with a pub between them. And they're on the town side, and over the suspension bridge, which is to your right, and along a bit and opposite Royal Chester is Queen's Park High School. And after that, there is purely meadows, and you can walk from Chester City up to the Duke of Westminster's estate, nice. Along the meadows there. It's absolutely beautiful. So because there are 4 clubs there, you're wearing high vis, and you've also got a good idea of who else is out and about. There's a lot of river traffic. Beyond the suspension bridge, which is the other way from the way that you're going, there are commercial boats, tourist boats, passenger not steamships, but passenger boats. One based on a New Orleans boat, and they go up part of the course that we'll be racing today, and they take no prisoners, and they take a long time to stop, so you need to be aware of them too. And obviously wearing high vis doesn't stop them hitting you, but it gives them less of an excuse for not seeing you.
So important for us to keep a good lookout, I guess, Di.
Very definitely, yes. There's also, along the bit that we're rowing up to the start now, there's also a sailing club and a canoe club, so there's a lot of river traffic. I suspect there are also open water swimmers, but certainly that wasn't trendy when I was there in the 90s.
Yes,
you're probably out.
Sorry, Di.
Go ahead, Judith.
So Di, you said you were there in the 90s. So what were you doing up there? And
we were both working in the north. Well, they call it the northwest, but it's really the Midlands if you look at the whole of the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we were working in the northwest at the time, and obviously being rowers, it's an immediate family, an immediate set of friends wherever you go. So we went down to Grosvenor Rowing Club, and they made us very much at home straight away.
Great.
We were there from 91 to 2003.
Brilliant. Yeah, and you mentioned the different network of clubs, and certainly I've been different clubs and in my time, and as you go to different competitions, you meet different people. I've got several stories, which we can save for another time. Okay, I'm going to work myself down the slide. 3/4 slide. Just to start really focusing on a bit of technique now. Starting to get a nice circulation going after not doing very much yesterday and a night's sleep. As I work down the slide, I'm just focusing on getting the right sequence. And now half slide. And at half slide, particularly thinking of relaxed arms, relaxed fingers. 1/4 slide. Really feeling when you press down. And now no slide. Really sitting up, maybe wiggle on your seat to make sure you're sitting up. So you're pivoting from the hips and not bending from the base of your spine. So you really want to pivot from the hips, so wiggle a little bit. Really sitting up. Only the slightest of lean back. I've actually got my feet out on this warm up. Helps me make sure I don't lean back too much.
That's your first 5 minutes.
Brilliant. Okay. Now I'm going to do arms only. Really get those shoulders mobilized. Squeeze those shoulder blades back, elbows back. So now we've got onto a bit of the river. It's nice and calm. So we're just going to really focus on the flat water. Let's imagine flat water. And really starting to build up on our technique now, laying a good platform for when we're actually going to put some work on. So nice, relaxed fingers, flat wrists, no white knuckles, as we just pull the handle through to the chest and squeeze those elbows back, squeeze those shoulder blades back. Making sure I'm sitting up, deep breathing, moving to body lean in 3, 2, 1, go. Letting the hands lead the bodies over. Just picking up that effort on the catch. Starting to feel a stretch in the back of the hamstrings. If you want to slightly break your knees, that's absolutely fine. Making sure we're engaging our glutes. And letting the knees break now, so that we just get a little bit more engagement with the feet. And the catch really now happens when the feet decide to press down. So because we've built up the slide, hands away, bodies over, we're ready for any time we want to press the feet down and take that catch. So at 1/4 slide, just really feeling that connection between the handle and the foot plate. This is a good time now to think, have I got my feet in the right position? Is it too high? Is it too low? It's not right to adjust it now. Moving to half slide. Go. Okay, starting to feel a little bit more work go on now. Get this breathing going again. Breathing out as we drive through. I'm just going to do a burst for 10 at half slide. Really focusing on getting that connection. Are you ready? Go. And back to light or half pressure, whatever you're doing. Moving to 3/4 slide, in 2, in 1. Go. The other reason I quite like doing half slide bursts like that is when you're on a new bit of water and you're marshalling with hundreds of other crews, you somehow want to make sure you're warmed up technically and physically, even though you may not have all the length of river you would like. But it's a way of really getting your crew together without actually traveling so much distance. Okay, let's move to 3/4 slide. Go. You're not already. Let's settle into this now. Get your rhythm.
And you're at 10 minutes now.
Great. So I'm going to do another burst for 10 at 3/4 slide. So just low rate, first of all, just to bed in that technique. Ready. Go. So we're just really pushing off from the legs. Making sure we're getting that connection between the hands, which are relaxed, straight arms, through the core, nice strong core to the leg drive. Nothing wasted. Nice. Next, I'm going to do the same at 3/4 slide, but just bring it up a little bit on the pace and the pressure. Again for 10. Ready? Go. Get those lungs working. Three more for me. Although I've probably lost count. Paddle light. I'm now going to let the boat take me to full slide. 3, 2, 1. Go. So hands down away, let the boat float under me. And just that delay before pushing with the feet. Okay. 30 seconds. I'm going to do a build, which is like our running start, and 20 strokes. So some people do a complicated half, three quarters, but and it's always, if you're in a crew boat, it's always really worth working that out. But what I'm going to do is sit up, slightly shorten for 5 strokes, and then build for 20. So 10 seconds. This is our last bit of work before marshalling and our race. Ready, go. So I'm just going to sit up for 5, bend those hands. And now lengthening out for 20. That's 10 for me. Really get that breathing.
One more minute.
Okay, that's my 20 done. Last 50 seconds, I'm just going to gently paddle it out. Let my heart rate come down. And then this time I'm in the marshalling area now. Always worth finding out if you're going to an event where the allowed areas are for firm pressure. Not everywhere, because there's a lot of boats. Okay, last 25 seconds, just get that breathing. Hopefully you'll feel a bit warmed up now. But if you're not, just take that first 5 minutes of our piece nice and steady. Nice. Okay, 5 minutes rest. So get off the machine if you want to, have a drink. Just going to stretch my back a little bit. So Di, while we're marshalling, anything we should be thinking about, do you think?
Overtaking.
Yes, what's the overtaking rule? I think,
well, if you and me are in this pair, then we're definitely going to be overtaking. And it's up to you because you're steering it.
Okay, right. Well, you have to be ready for anything, don't you?
Absolutely.
Either being overtaken, in which case you just have to move slightly aside, but not too much. We don't need to move too much and get stuck in some bushes or some trees, or find we're into a cow that's gone into the side of the bank.
The great thing about Chester is there are no bridges on the course itself, just the expressway bridge, the motorway bridge it's called, at the start.
Right.
And then there's no other concrete structures. It's only bank trees that you're going to hit.
Hopefully I'll steer properly. And there's a bit of a wiggle in there. So we've got a bit of a straight run for the first bit. I can't even remember how long the course is. It's quite a long course.
It's a good long stretch, yeah. There are 2 bends really. There's the bend at Heron Bridge, which is fairly near the start, which is a nice gentle bend. And then there's a big bend near the finish, which is called the Earl's Eye. And
right.
that's a cheeky bend.
A cheeky bend, so that's hard on the left.
That's right. And also that's where the passenger boats are. So that's where we have to steer on the wrong side of the river.
Right. Okay, 3 minutes. We're just into our last 3 minutes of rest.
So metaphorically, tops off. Please don't feel that you have to.
Check our seat, check our ergo setting. I've got it on the line between 4 and 5. So because it's early in the morning, I think for my first 5 minutes, I'm going to do it fairly steady, still go race sort of pace-ish. But I want to be able to talk. I want to set myself up nice 5 minutes solid, get my breathing, get my heart rate up, focus on steering straight in my mind. And then we've still got 15 minutes, and some heads are only 15 minutes anyway, so we're doing an extra 5 here. So another couple of stretches if you want before getting back on the seat. Just going to stretch my quads.
You've got 2 more minutes of rest. I've double checked, there are cakes and coffee and chili ready in the boathouses.
Marvellous, marvellous. That's motivation, isn't it? And a big shout out, by the way, this last 1 minute 40 seconds, at Grosvenor, I think there's a lady called Christine Marshall that's helping coach some St Vincent children who are blind children to row. And so inspiring to see some of the videos there where they're actually got braille marked on the riggers. And their challenge was to help these kids get out. And of course, Bernie Hollywood, who's doing this Atlantic Row next year, fundraising both for Samaritans and Love Rowing to help with mental health for children's charities. So a big shout out for them. And I just noticed Andy Triggs Hodge posted last night at the Royal Docks, other end of the country really. Royal dolphins have been established and going out for adults with learning difficulties, really giving them that sense of freedom. So this is for them as well. So 30 seconds countdown. We'll start paddling as we have been marshaled away from the bank. And we're starting to build up now the pressure and the speed as we turn. And we've been told, zoom ergos, go. So timing starts now. So first 5 minutes, just settle in. And Di, if there's anything else you want to say about the events that are going on, well, we just settle into this.
So we're imagining this is the Autumn Head, but there are 4 events on the stretch of water here. There's the North of England Head in March. There's Chester Regatta in the summer, Chester Long Distance Sculls in September, and the De Autumn Head in October. And it's such a glorious place to row and to race because there are plenty of places to get on and off the water. It's a major tourist city, Chester, and there's tons and tons to see and do there. It's a Roman city. There's lots of parking because it is a tourist city, and Queen's Park High School actually use their parking as a major fundraiser for their club. So definitely one to support. And very easy access. As I said, the walk along the meadows is on the Queen's Park High School boathouse side. And there's a suspension bridge from their side to the city side. So it's all good fun. Grosvenor Rowing Club was founded in 1869 for tradespeople who couldn't join Royal Chester Rowing Club, which was founded for gentlemen in 1838.
Wow.
So they've both got a good heritage. Judith mentioned about heritage earlier, and Chester Regatta's got a good heritage as well. It's changed considerably in the last 20 years, but it is run by a committee of all the local clubs. One of the best commentary calls ever at Chester Regatta was about 4 o'clock on the Saturday when Julian yelled over the commentary, emergency call, tea and cake to the commentary tower.
Yeah, that reminds me, Di, actually, regattas and heads, but regattas in particular, great ways for parents and other people to help and really feel part of that community. And then at Staines Regatta over the summer, there was the finish tent was right next to the barbecue. And I was talking to one of the chaps there who said, no, I'm not part of the rowing club. I just like to help at the barbecue. So it's amazing they're really the social heritage, the social connectivity we get from our regattas, and it's something I really missed during lockdown.
Very definitely. And they're also such a massive fundraising element for the clubs, the local clubs, the catering and the bar and the after parties and so on. And certainly at the Falls Head, there were a number of after parties on Saturday last weekend. And some bar profits definitely happening there.
Yeah, many a time that I've come out from a head race, had your, as you mentioned, chili or something, and that's when you do your wash up from your race before the long journey home, and sort of where the next ideas come from, or where should we race next. You just, each time you just push your boundaries. So we're in our last minute of our first 5 minutes. So if you did this last week, you might be wanting to just either keep the same time or just slightly edge your numbers up. Or if you're the first time, then, you know, very welcome. It's like rowing at your pace, I think. And hopefully the commentary will help, especially in the second half. Okay, we should all be now at our long distance pace. I'm just going to do a check on myself at the 15 minutes. Get my breathing, sitting up, pressing from the feet, making sure my arms are just linked until that very end. Here we go. 5 minutes gone.
And we're keeping our shoulders relaxed, everyone. I know we said that we're not keeping an eye on you, but I'm just having a quick look. My husband was coaching a novice quad the other day, and they came up with a good call, which was shoulders up, shoulders down, ears up, just to keep that separation. So back to the Chester course, we've gone past Heron Bridge, which is that first gentle bend, which has got the most gorgeous, when you look at the video, it's got the most gorgeous pink house, which is where, if I had my life again, somebody would have bought me that house, or I'd have bought it myself with royalties from a book I've not written yet. And we're now heading down towards the Red House pub, excuse me, which is no longer there as an operational pub, but where I spent many Friday nights in the 90s. And there are probably spectators all the way along the course in Chester, all the way along the meadows there.
And let's imagine they cheered us on. We're going to do a little push now. And we've got a crew closing in on us, but we're not going to let them get away. So we're just keeping the same rhythm. Squeeze on the pressure. Feel that boat run.
Nice, everybody picked it up there. Well done.
Great. Now, I'm going to imagine that on this next little bend, as we approach halfway, I've got a good line and I'm being caught by another crew, but we're going to keep our distance and we're going to overtake this double scull ahead of us. Might take us a couple of minutes, but we're going to do it. So I'm just looking around now, working out where I'm going to move. Okay, 30 seconds, I think. I'm going to do a bit of a 2-minute push as we get to the halfway. It's a nice straight bit of river and then a bit of an internal bend, so great time to overtake. 15 seconds of that overtake maneuver. I'm taking it up 1 pip, but keeping it long and strong, letting the boat run. Ready, go. 2 minutes push to overtake. Nice. I can see that we're pushing together. The other crew can see we're catching on them, so they've just moved maybe just a meter to the left, and I've just moved a little meter to the right. Got a good line now. Ready to push, to overtake. We're coming alongside now, we've just got overlap. Now we're level. Keep another look out. Yeah, we're both going parallel. Okay, we're man on man or woman on woman alongside. Gonna squeeze it on. Nice. Feel that boat pick up now. Another push for 10 to completely overtake. So just still got a bit of overlap. My stern on their bow. Nice. Okay, we've got 2 inches of clear water. Starting to hit the inside of this bend at halfway, just over halfway now. Over to you, Di.
Yep, we're over halfway. We've only got 9 minutes left to go. We're really into our stride. Water feels great. And we've been out in the country for this first half of the race, and we're starting to get in towards the city limits now. So you're starting to see a few houses on the banks on your left. Always have to practice which hand I've got my fork into, which is left and which is right. So we're keeping the pressure up. This is where we might want to fade, but we're not going to. Coming up on 12 minutes.
Okay, let's sitting up and spin the hands. Keeping that sharp round the turn. Sitting up, getting that air into the lungs. Feeling that boat run. There. There. Nice. Just look around. I can see a slight curve coming in the water, in the river. Just positioning my boat.
So now we're steering to the other bank. So we're steering to the Meadows bank so that we can get round this Earl's Eye bend and keep out of the way of the steamers, the tourist boats. Happily, the canoe club and the sailing club have kept off the water today for the race. There'll still be some anglers about, some fisher people sitting in bushes, waiting to ambush you. And on the left bank, there are some lovely river gardens where the adult clubs, Royal Chester and Grosvenor, used to have summer balls.
Well done, everyone. Let's keep it sharp.
Remember, the work's coming from your feet and your legs. Your arms are simply there to connect. And you've got 6 minutes left to go. Anyone can paddle for 6 minutes. You've done the hard work.
Yeah, 1 minute. That's all it is. Okay, we're going around the corner now.
Club mates from the other divisions are on the bank now, giving you a cheer.
Go team Ergos. Nice one.
Just 5 more minutes. Can we have a power 20?
Yeah, go. Power 20, go. I can feel the boat run now on that. Where the boat's singing under. Well done. Great one.
10 more.
Looking round, checking my line before my next push.
Just 4 more minutes.
Spin those hands. There. Let the boat release and run. Use that time on the recovery for breathing.
There are probably photographers here, so you'll be wanting to sit up straight and smile. Breathe and smile.
Nice.
Just 3 more minutes.
Spring off the feet at the catch. There. Nice quick catches. Connecting and drive. Connecting and drive. Bringing off the toes. Nice. We got somebody catching us, but we're not going to let them go. Our next push, going to bring off them. Got a clear run to the finish line now, around the bend. Ready, last 2 minutes. Push, let's bring it on. Spring there on the feet. Spring and connect. Nice. Well done. 90 seconds, that's all it is. 90 seconds, put all that winter training. Connect that core, drive with the legs. Well done. Good one.
Last minute, so we've got a lovely straight line, as Judith said. We're not too close to the bank, so we'll, as we go over the finish line, we're going to keep on going, but we've not quite got there yet.
Okay, depending on your rating, it's the last 10 or 15 strokes. Ready? Let's push off. Set the day up. Every second counts, every stroke counts. Lovely. Nice. Oh. And wind down, but keep paddling. Oh, thanks, Di.
Welcome. So on the finish line, I don't know if you saw some of the Chester-born Olympians that were seeing you across the line there, but there was Tom James, Chris Bartley, loads of others, but they were seeing you across the finish line there.
Nice. Whew. So I definitely did 100 more meters than I did last time.
Nice.
Yeah, which for me is brilliant. I could not do this. I could not get on the ergo and do this sort of intensity without other people. It's just not in there. So, thanks everyone. And would we need to paddle and then turn to come in, or what's the circulation at the finish?
Yeah, you've got to paddle on down to the suspension bridge because there are loads of crews in this division and we need to get out of the way of the finish line. And we're going to turn onto the suspension bridge. We're not going to go too far beyond there because there's a weir. And then we're going to paddle back up to the boathouse ramp, pontoons.
Okay. It's very easy to think, oh, I'm going to flop off the machine, but in a boat, you can't just flop off the boat and say, oh, I've had enough now. We're just going to let the heart slowly come down. Just keep a good lookout, sense the atmosphere. And now we're probably turning.
And everyone's behaving themselves, so the Finnish marshals aren't jumping up and down yelling and stressing people out.
Yeah. Yeah, and just on timing, certainly the force headers, we've got start and finish timing, and then 2 intermediate timing points that were evolved during my time as chief umpire. It's an amazing timing team, and same as all the heads, the volunteers doing timing. So really important to wear your race number, and you've got long hair, tie up so you can see the number, otherwise you don't get a time. Whew. So have a think about how that went for you. Is this your first time on this session? Hope it hasn't put you off. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did a piece last week on the tideway with me, let us know how that compared. Do you feel a bit stronger? Next week, we're going to head back to Thames region, and I'm going to imagine Weybridge Silver Skulls, but I'm calling it Walton to Weybridge, but like at Chester, there's a number of clubs that operate out on that stretch of water. So it's the River Thames between Walton and Weybridge, which I've raced a lot and I know a lot better than the D at Chester. So come and join us for that. I'm just going to go to half slide now just to get my breath back. So by all means, come off chat. Hang around for a couple of minutes. Let us know how it went for you. Whew. Nice.
It was a nice full session. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Whew.
Oh, thanks.
So here we go. Whew. So, whew. This is where I'm not in my finest glory here. So how was that for everybody?